These are the type games you play for, man. These opportunities to get into a playoff.
Hey, coach, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Wentz looks, Wentz fires, touchdown!
This guy, number 88, he can get it done as well.
Goes to Sanders. He's hit it. Touchdown! Prescott, he is firing deep, and it is incomplete! Incomplete!
Well, finally, ladies and gentlemen, there is clarity in the NFC East. It all comes down to this. Philadelphia has the inside track. If the Eagles beat the Giants on Sunday, Philadelphia takes the division. If Philadelphia loses and Dallas beats Washington, Dallas wins the division. If both of them lose, don't put that out of the realm of possibility. Then Philadelphia wins by virtue of a tiebreaker. All right, so it's a rematch of a couple of division games we saw early, and I'm talking about early. The first Dallas-Washington game was back in week 2. Dak Prescott and the guys had it rolling. He fakes the handoff to Ezekiel Elliott, goes deep. Devin Smith for a 51-yard touchdown.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Exactly. Like I said, go back to week 2. Third quarter now. You got Case Keenum, who will be quarterbacking Washington again this week. Case Keenum was the starter at the beginning of the season for Washington. Going to Paul Richardson, a 9-yard touchdown. The Redskins cut it to a 7-point game. He wasn't clapping at the moment. Final quarter now. Ezekiel Elliott up the middle. That's a touchdown. Cowboys pulled away 31-21. Ezekiel Elliott, 111 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. Dak threw for just about 270. Meanwhile, it was just a few weeks ago that the Giants and the Eagles played that Monday night game, the return of Eli Manning. Peyton for watching from up on high. Eli going to Darius Slayton, and the Giants put a scare and a half into Philadelphia.
The problem was they didn't go back to Slayton in the second half. Like, what was going on? He's wide open all the time.
Eli and Slayton were linking up right there, and it was a Giants lead for most of the game. But Carson Wentz and the guys pulled out some magic late. They needed a touchdown and the extra point to get it into overtime. Zach Ertz was open, and he gets it. We go into overtime. Eagles took the opening kickoff in overtime down the field, and they forget to cover Zach Ertz for some reason.
Just ran the same play to the other side.
And it was a thrilling last-second win, walk-off win in overtime for the Eagles, 23-17. And again, that game was just a few weeks ago. However, Zach Ertz, who caught the touchdown to get it into overtime and the game-winning touchdown in overtime, may not be available this week. Zach Ertz is dealing with rib injury, and so if he's not available, in fact, there's indications that he might not be, because you guys hear the news that the signing today by the Philadelphia Eagles, they got Richard Rodgers, former Green Bay Packer, got the Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers way back when. Richard Rodgers is a new Philadelphia Eagle, so what else is new? The Eagles are looking for receivers here late in the season. How is this game going to go? Philadelphia wins and they take it. How's that going to go?
Yeah, look, this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
But this situation where, we saw on the play there where Eli dropped the ball over the secondary's head, the secondary's got to play better. You saw they made timely plays against the Cowboys last week. That's something. But then on offense, Carson Wentz, he has been making key plays. Zach Ertz is his go-to, but you know what? Dallas Goedert, a very good tight end, really likes to throw the ball to him. They've got to make some timely plays in the pass game. And the Giants' defense, not very good. MJD.
Well,
do you disagree with that?
No, I'm not going to ever disagree with those type of numbers there at the bottom of the screen.
No. Yeah, that's that qualified for not very good?
That's below average. For me, listen, the Eagles have found what they need to make it in the playoffs and make this run. Their defense is stopping the run, and they found a running game. And that's all you need. Miles Sanders has kind of emerged as this back that you can throw the ball to, you can run between the tackles. He's kind of taking the lead role. They have other guys as well. And again, look, when your defense can stop the Cowboys like this, and you can run the ball like this on the goal line and create those type of holes, you have a chance in the playoffs. That's all you have to do, and your quarterback has to make a couple throws. And so I think all you want to do right now is lean on those two things, because those two things, they travel for free. You don't got to pay for that. they can go anywhere, anytime. You can run the ball and stop the run. It gives you a chance to win anywhere.
Jordan Howard could be coming back as well for Philadelphia, which could be a key right there. All right, Philadelphia, again, controls their path to the postseason. If Philadelphia trips up, Dallas and Washington, both those games available on NFL Red Zone on Sunday. Lindsay?
Seahawks have a big game on Sunday against the Niners for the NFC West, and they're getting a familiar face back to play in it. Marshawn Lynch signing with the team yesterday, a comeback that seemingly came out of nowhere after Chris Carson and C.J. Prosise went down on Sunday. But according to Tom Pelissero, he's been training in secret for the last couple of weeks, preparing for a possible comeback. And he's been talking to Michael Robinson the whole time, our teammate who used to be his teammate, who is apparently very good at keeping secrets and who joins us now on the phone. How did this whole thing come about, Mike?
Yeah, first of all, Marshawn is definitely happy to be back playing football. I asked him a couple of times, like, bro, like, you don't need this. Like, why do this? And he said, Mike, Rob, I love the game of football. And you can't argue when a guy tells you that. But he told me probably, I don't know, a month and a half ago, hey, Mike, you know, they calling for me, man. They calling for me. I'm thinking about, you know, getting myself back together. And I thought, I thought the Seahawks and Pete Carroll and everybody over there did a great job staying in contact with them, keeping the doors open for this possibility to happen.
Do you think part of the reason that he's coming back has anything to do with unfinished business and the way that Super Bowl ended against the Patriots to make this playoff run with the Seahawks? Do you think that is at all a factor?
Yeah, I mean, he won't say it. He will never say it, but I'm sure subconsciously, if he would have got the ball on the 1 yard line in that 2014 Super Bowl, we may not come to this place right now. But he did not say that. But I do think that is possibly in the back of his mind.
So we saw him training. Apparently, Tom Pelissero says that he's been training for the last 2 weeks in private. What's that look like, as far as you know?
Yes, as far as I know, it's just obviously a bunch of cardio, those types of things, lifting weights, But Marshawn is a guy that when he gets the ball in his hands is a very physical runner, and him and I talking. The concerns are like, this time of the year, teams aren't going full padded on practices, right? So how does he get that live work in before a possible showdown for the NFC West title this weekend against the San Francisco 49ers? To me, that's the issue. And if you look at the game this week, I would expect 10 to 15 carries if the Seahawks deem it possible for him. But I do think about 10, 15 carries would be the limit for him.
Okay, so 10 to 15 carries for him. They also have Robert Turbin back in the fold. This is starting to feel very much like 2013. The only one missing
is not me, because I'm not coming back. Okay, I'm on a vegetarian diet, Lindsay. I don't have all the weight I used to have, but I will say this: there is some familiarity with Marshawn, with Robert Turbin, all of those types of things. But the Brian Schottenheimer offense is a little bit more zone run. Marshawn likes the more of a gap scheme when you got double teams and pulling guards and things like that. I'll be looking at that this weekend to see if they implement that more in their game.
Good stuff, Mike Robb. Thank you very much for taking time out of your Christmas. We will let you get back to your
mode. Back in the NFL and back on the practice field. Signed last night, on the practice field today. Seahawks tweeting this out just a short time ago. And he comes back 1 win away from being a division champ. So the NFC North was decided last night. The NFC East will be decided on Sunday afternoon. And then Sunday Night Football, Niners at Seahawks, game 256 of the NFL's regular season. Winner gets the NFC West. He is one of the greatest defenders in the game, and he is our special guest on the night before Christmas. Bobby Wagner, welcome to NFL Total Access. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing real well. We're doing real well. Look, at people that know you and know your game know you are one of the alpha competitors in the NFL. What is it like to know it's a one-game showdown as the last game of the regular season for a division championship this weekend?
I think it's what you dream about. I think when you wake up and come to the end of the season and you put yourself in a position to be one of two teams to win a division and possibly get a bye, it's just fun. And then playing against Sharpe, it's going to be fun, too.
You see him before the game, Richard Sherman, your old teammate, say hi and everything, and then you guys go to work on defense. He'll try and go to work on defense, I'm sure. The first matchup with San Francisco was an instant classic. Tight game, right down to the wire. What do you expect this time around?
I expect the same thing because it's going to be a lot of guys just coming at each other. I definitely feel like they're going to want to come bounce back from the last time we won. And, Sherman's going to get those guys riled up. And I feel like we're going to be riled up after the way last week went. And it's going to be fun.
Seattle, the entire area, the 12s, everybody is fired up for the return of beast mode. Marshawn Lynch back with you guys again. First of all, how's he look, and what's reasonable to expect out of a guy who hasn't played in a year?
I mean, to me, he looked like he normally looked.
Really?
He's going to come down. I know y'all saw the video of him boxing, or, well, it was him getting beat up. But
taking the shots to the ribs to get him ready.
Gonna be ready.
Yeah,
exactly. He a guy going to be ready. They're going to kind of slowly put him back into the game. But, whenever he had the ball, he's going to bring the power.
Does Marshawn add anything just besides his productivity on the football field? Would there be any extra juice or anything like that, do you think, coming from him this weekend?
Definitely, because, you get a chance to suit back up again and, put that 2-4 back on so the city can see him run the ball again. And I think, like he's been saying, it's unfinished business from him, and it's going to be excited to see him run the ball again.
Well, if he's in the backfield, doesn't really matter who else is out there. We know you've got one of the best weapons in football as your trigger man. Russell Wilson has put together another MVP caliber candidate type season. What else is there to say about Russell Wilson and the game he's played all season long?
He's just been amazing, man. True MVP, coming out every single game, being productive, touchdowns, using his feet to create plays, getting guys the ball. And it's just been really, really fun to watch his growth, his leadership. He's an amazing person, and, he deserves it.
You're not only joining us today as the leader of the Seahawks, but you're also joining us today with the distinction of one of only 32 men to be honored as the finalist for the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. I know you don't take that very lightly. This is a big honor. And I know you don't do it for your own glory, but if you don't mind, we'll give you the floor on national TV right now to tell us about what you're trying to do in the community to impact lives, and if people are inspired, how they can get involved.
I'm very grateful for this honor. To be one of 32 guys is just a blessing. And, I don't have a foundation, and the foundation I chose to give the money back to is the HBCU Foundation. I'm wearing an HBCU hoodie right now.
Historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, yes.
Walter Payton went to this college, and I just think that they need to be looked out for. There's a lot of not funding for them, and I found an opportunity for myself to give the money to somebody that deserves it, and they deserve it. So if you guys can help me raise awareness and raise money for them, I would be truly grateful.
Have you selected which hoodie will be for game night there in Seattle? Will you show up to the stadium with one of those on?
I haven't decided yet, because this whole season I've been doing away games.
Okay.
So it's going to be a home game, so I got to figure out whether I'm going to do it or not. But I have a ton, and I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
Well, the cameras will be rolling. You know that. Bobby, thanks for the time. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and have a great game against San Francisco this weekend, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Hey, nothing needs to be said, huh? Find a job, execute. Shoot on 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Ready? Lobs a throw for Lacoste. Reaches up. Brings it down. Into the end zone. Left corner. Touchdown. Patriots.
That's a big-time drive.
Good job, baby. Way to go. That's what we needed. Good job, Philly. You guys are more than capable of just doing the bare minimum and beating this team.
Brady takes the snap. A give to Burkhead. Runs it right. And Burkhead's hit behind the line. Stays alive. Into the end zone. Touchdown.
Merry Christmas, America.
Patriots AFC East champs for the 11th straight year, in the driver's seat for the 2 seed right now, with the Chiefs waiting to pounce in the events that they lose to the Dolphins. But as you know, the road to the Super Bowl will have to go through Baltimore, which clinched the 1 seed on Sunday and recorded their second 1,000-yard rusher of the year. Mark Ingram joining Lamar Jackson in that department. For context here, there are 21 NFL teams this year that do not have 1,000-yard rusher this year. Baltimore, again, has 2. They don't have anything to play for this weekend, so they'll be resting their players against the Steelers, who have to win to even have a chance to get into the playoffs, and they will need Devlin Hodges to get them that win. Mason Rudolph out for the year on IR with a shoulder injury. So the good news for Pittsburgh here, the last time that the Steelers lost in Week 17, it was all the way back in 2007. Since then, they are 11-0 in the last week of the regular season. Of course, there's a chance that they could beat the Ravens and not have it matter, because if the Titans beat the Texans, they get the 6th seed, and the Steelers and Raiders are out of luck. But here's the thing. They didn't beat the Texans 2 weeks ago, and Derrick Henry's a little banged up. Are they going to get what they need out of him?
Well, I think they will. You know, they rested him last week, week 16, because they were like, look, we're going to sit you down here, and they still played really well. This is the one that matters. So I think if you get Derrick Henry going, that hamstring should be much better off, and that's what you have to see. Like, it's not about the big explosive runs that everyone's talking about. It's about wearing down the defense, allowing them to try to commit to the run so that you can see that play-action pass. Obviously, A.J. Brown, who's kind of emerging as one of the top young receivers in the game. Nice. And again, Ryan Tannehill's been playing well, too. So, like, they're playing with confidence. They were in this game in Week 16, and all of a sudden it didn't happen. But, I mean, the way Ryan Tannehill's throwing the ball right now, Steve, I'm like, I don't know.
They played well enough to lose the past 2 weeks. But, you know, when watching this game against the Texans a couple weeks ago, there is nothing to make me think that they can't go to Houston and win this game, especially because by the time they kick off, Houston may know its fate already being locked into the 4th seed. If Kansas City beats the Chargers, it's over. Houston's locked into the 4th seed. They can rest their players, MJD. Right. So that's part of it. Either way, I think Tennessee, being a desperate team, a more desperate team than Houston, goes down there and plays a heck of a game. So that'll be interesting. And real quick, Lindsay, I want to go back to Scott's interview with Bobby Wagner real quick. Props to Bobby Wagner, who went to Utah State, which is not a historically black college, as a